Hi there, it's Karen here for Turquoise Treasures. Welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be making a start on our new project, which is of course the music journal. I've been sort of gathering things, trying to think about how I'm going to do this. I haven't got it completely settled in my mind just how it's all going to go, but I thought I'd at least show you what I've got so far, as in the digital kits. We'll have a look at the Stamperia paper pad that I'm going to be using. I'll talk about some of my ideas for the cover. That's still got to develop, and I thought we might just make a couple of pockets with one of the papers or some of the paper from the paper pad. So I don't know how long this will take. I don't think it'd be a very long video, but I thought it would give you a chance just to see what I'm going to be using. And I've got a lot of fussy cutting. There's lots of ephemera to be cut out, and I haven't done that yet. So hopefully that'll all be done, or at least partly done, by the time I really crack on with getting this journal put together in the next video that I work on it. But let's just make a start. I thought if I don't start, I'm never going to get started. So I thought I'd better just do that. I have done a fair bit of preparation today, in that I've double-side printed the papers and things like that. So let's have a look. This is the vintage Viola, which I have mentioned that I'm going to use. This is by Shabbydabbydoodah. And I'll just show you that kit. So where are we? I'm just going to pull it out, the bits that I'm actually going to use. I printed some of the papers more than once, and some of them I printed on thicker paper in case I want to make anything with them. But these are the papers already trimmed and double-sided. So I spent a bit of time this morning printing the other sides of these and then trimming them all down, so they actually end up being a lot smaller than I would have liked. But you end up with, let's just do a quick measure. So the final papers are now just over about 11¼ long this way, by, let's do it again at the end so it's easy to read, 7½. So we've ended up with 11¼ by 7½. So I'll still, I think I'll still do a 9×6 journal. I think I'll see how that goes, because some of the papers will be bigger, certainly some of the in-between, and the Stamperia papers will be cut a bit bigger than that. So there'll be a variety of sizes of papers, and that doesn't matter, does it? Okay, so this is the first one. It's really a pretty one. I mean, this is a very pretty kit. It's very vintagey. So, because I didn't feel like that was quite enough, I've gone and bought another kit, which is a slightly different colour scheme. Still got some pink roses in it. They're just a different shade of pink, really. This one is called by My Porch Prints, and it's called Sweet Music. And this has got loads of ephemera. And again, it's got a nice vintagey feel. Not quite as dark, perhaps, in its feel. The colour on, whoops, let's just grab one of these. The colour is a slightly different colour. This is lighter and this is a bit darker, but I think mixing them in, I don't have a problem with mixing and matching these kits. I tend to do that anyway with my journals. I don't very often do just one kit in a journal. So this one is slightly different. It's been divided down the middle on each of the journal pages. And again, I have double-sided it and I've trimmed it down. This bit didn't, if I trimmed it any more, there'd be hardly any left. So I'm going to have to do perhaps a bit of inking or something down the side, or maybe I'll have to put a ruffle or some lace to disguise this bit of white on the side here. But I didn't want to lose any more of this because it was already quite a small footprint on the page. It didn't take up a whole page anyway. And then the way my printer prints, it tried to cut it down even more. So there's that one. What I like about this kit is it's got more instruments. The other one is very much about just the viola, or it looks like violin. I mean, it's just, that's the only instrument in that kit, whereas this kit has got a whole range of instruments. And then this is, well, it's not all journal, it's not all ephemera. I've got some spare papers underneath here, I think. Let's get those out of the way. But there is a lot of ephemera in this kit. I don't know if I'll get it all cut out. So we've got 2 double journal cards here. And I think anything that's got a lot of floral on it, there is a paper, one of the backing papers, which I didn't use, which is this one, because to me that doesn't say music at all. I mean, there's nothing musical on there. There's not even any, I don't think there's hardly any music in the background. It's even upside down. It's really pretty, and I'd be happy to use it for something else, but I just don't see it in this journal, really. So anything that's really floral like this, I probably won't use. Like, for instance, I'm not sure I use this because it's just a floral. It doesn't say music. I know it's got music on the other side, but yeah, I mean, I don't know whether these are meant to be 2 or all cut as 1. I think, anyway, it's journal cards. So that's that one. And then there's these 2. Single journal card. Oh, it says cards for envelopes. And she's actually written on what some of these things are, which is really handy. And then there's a little mini tag that I think you can just either cut into 2 or fold over and make it into 1. And then this one, it tells you how to fold it in. These are 2 envelopes, and she just gives a little instruction on here. And then there's some really handy word labels here. There's more journal cards, really interesting journal cards. I like those. And then this one, oh, it's upside down again. This one is an envelope, and she tells you how to said fold size, then bottom, then top flap, and then it says that's the bottom flap. So it's really clear how you put this together. And then this is meant to be, these are tabs all along here, which I suppose you can attach to your envelopes. So they're 4 page tabs on the bottom there, and she tells you how to cut and fold them. These are layered pockets. Now these are very floral. I'm not sure I would use them, but what I do love about this is, look, she's put a little diagram of how it should look and a description of how you should layer it up to make it look, to make it into this layered pocket, which is great. And you could always, I might just take a piece of paper that's more musical, got more music on it, and just copy it and do the same thing, but just make it more fitting with what I want to use. I could use some of the Stamperia paper pad to do that. And again, this is another a pocket for large tags. So there's the example of how the pocket could go. And she's got all the different bits and then the various pieces cut up. And you can just crisscross them, and she shows you how it should look here. So that's really handy. And that's a really good one. I should probably almost definitely use that. And another one, this is a tag and envelope set. So I think this is the envelope. I'm not sure. Oh, I see. This is the example. So these are the envelopes, and you put them onto the side of a page like that. There's 2 of them, and you have them facing sideways at the side of a page. Like, I suppose they'd be facing that way on the side. So they will be good to use. And this is the same again. Another set of little envelopes that you can put on the side of a page like that. It tells you how to put them together and everything. She has thought of everything, I must say. These one, that's upside down. Some are up. These are all upside down now, apart from the bottom one. Okay, so now we have some. It says tag shapes. Anyway, there's a variety of shapes of things, circles and various bits that you can use. Print 2-sided, and then you can. I'm not quite sure how you use them, but I could print on the other side if I want to, when I figured out how I want to use them. But they could be used to write on the back of, and they're just an unusual shape to pop into a pocket. More double tags, I think these are, or 4 tags. You could just have them as large tags individually. Then you've got some small tags, another one here, and some small journal cards. And more tags and tickets. I think these are the tags that go into, judging by the picture, these might be the tags that go into these envelopes because they match. So yes, they go into those envelopes because these pictures match the 2 sets of envelopes that she's included. And then there's all these little tickets along the side here. So quite a big range of ephemera. Lots of cutting for me to do. So I'll get as much of it done. I mean, some of it I'll be able to use or most of it I'll be able to use my trimmers, so I shall be fine. So that's those 2 kits. And then because when I bought the vintage Viola kit, I only bought the papers, and I didn't spot that there was a separate ephemera kit, which I have subsequently bought. But because I hadn't when I was looking for more things to use, I didn't realise there was an ephemera kit, so I bought a different ephemera kit to go to work with it. Which, where have I put it? It's all got buried now under mounds of paper. Where have I put it? It was here. There it is, underneath. So yes, I bought myself another ephemera kit, which I don't know how much of it I'm going to use. It's very different to the other kits. But I think I'll just pick and choose and see what will go with what I'm using. But it does give me a few more things, and there's a few fussy cuts and things in here. So this one is by DigitalScrapHelper, and it's just vintage music ephemera. And I will try and remember to link all these shops below this video so that if you wanted to work along with me or use any of these kits, you can find them easily. So there's this one. So these have got little tiny envelopes. So this is really small scale stuff. Some envelopes, and I suppose these are the little tickets that go in them or something, I'm not sure. These are a bit different. These are some tags with ladies on playing music, so they're quite good. I like these ones where somebody's playing an instrument with the music in the background. And these are all tags with somebody playing an instrument, so I may use those just to bring the changes. There's a few little tags as well. They're very different. Then they've got these more sort of images of people playing instruments, real vintage images of people playing instruments. So some of those I may use, not all, I don't suppose, but I'll probably use a few of those. And then we have some journal card, a pocket, and some tags. And I mean, if you look at the colours, some of these really do match in quite well with the vintage Viola kit, some of these roses. I mean, again, we've got pink roses and lots of music backgrounds and stuff. So I think quite a lot of this is very usable. Some tags and some, looks like little mini pockets. Perhaps they're for putting the tags into, little narrow pockets that you can just pop one of those tags into. And this is quite a big kit as well. I say it's upside down, but they face each other. So these are just more little tags and a couple of pockets, very small pockets, and a few more bits here. And more envelopes, I think. These are envelopes and little mini tags and little labelly bits. Just pieces of decorative ephemera, some of them. And then we've got a couple of corner pockets and a couple of tags that will go with them. So that's that. So that is the three kits that at the moment is what I'm going to be aiming to work with. Plenty of preparation to be done. So what I was going to just show you something. This is how I'm going to store all this, I think. I put here somewhere, yes. So I'll just pull this over. So what I've got here, this is like a little ephemera folder thing, like this. And actually this came from a Christmas kit that Rach and Bella Crafts did at the end of 2021 when they were doing their A to Z collaboration, and they did a really lovely kit which I did buy. And part of that kit was 2 of these ephemera holders thingies. And they do come with tabs, but I'd have to print off another page for the tabs, so I didn't bother. And I'm probably just going to do a thumb notch here. And I just did a bit of decorative edge, but I printed it back to back, so you've got a nice, interesting inside as well. And it's music, so I thought it would go quite well, except that of course it's Christmas music. I've covered up the title of the tune because it's I don't know, Joy to the World or something like that. Just cover that up so that it doesn't look too Christmassy. And I'm going to put all my ephemera from the vintage Viola in this one. And then, no, not for the vintage Viola. No, this one is for this kit, the DigitalScrapHelper kit. So that's going to go with that one. And just so you can see how it would look before it's been cut out and glued together, this is how it comes. This is the other one, or this one is Joy to the World. So it's just got a couple of tabs. It'd be a very simple thing to make. You just take a piece of card and fold it in half, really. It's just got a couple of tabs, so you've got a little bit of depth to it. And I've printed this on the other side, which is part of the... what I think I'm going to do with this one, instead of folding it with the music on the outside like I have with this one, I'm going to cut it out and fold it the other way, so that then I've got the vintage Viola kit, or this part of it, showing on the outside, so you can see which kit it belongs to. So that's what I'm going to do with this one, and all the ephemera for that one will go in here. And for my sweet music kit, they actually do have an envelope in that kit, which is this one, and hopefully I'll be able to get a lot of the ephemera in here, just so it keeps them together, because I'm always, they're always just floating around, especially some of these little bits, the little tickets and things. It'd be really handy to have somewhere just to keep them. So I think that's what I'm going to do with the ephemera, because there's going to be a lot of ephemera floating around. So I thought I'd have somewhere to keep them. So the other thing we're going to use, I thought I'd just show you this, which is it's gorgeous, I love it, is the music pad from Stamperia. And if you remember when I was making one of the, I think it was Roxy Creations tags or something, I did actually cut out a piece of ephemera from here. That's the only thing I've actually done with this kit so far, with this paper pad. So I just thought I'd quickly show it to you, because I think most of this is going to get used, because there are no fussy cuts. So I thought there were fussy cuts at the end of this one, but there aren't. So we won't have any instruments to fussy cut out. I nearly bought another digital kit, which had a lot of fussy cuts as part of it. And in the end I didn't, and now I wish I did, because I could have had some musical instruments to cut out. But I kind of assumed that there were some in this, so I didn't buy it. And now I can't remember which it was, but I'll have to see if I can find it. But no, this one doesn't actually have any fussy cuts as part of it. But it has lots of beautiful papers, so let's have a look at them. So the back of this is just music paper, so that could be used, but I think you could have this as writing on the back if you used any of these to make a tag, because that would make a lovely tag. That would make a lovely tag. So yeah, you could definitely use a lot of those. Then there's this gorgeous page, because I think what I'm planning to do is to do 3 signatures in my journal. So what I will really want to do is have one of these pages at the beginning of each signature. That's the plan. So I think that's going to be a page. That's probably going to be the opening page. I have to see how tall that instrument is, whether it's a... Oh, let me just get my ruler out. I don't know if this is meant to be a violin. It looks like one, but it could be a cello because it's big. And if we're saying that the papers are going to be... I'll probably do them about 8.5 tall, something like that. So 8.5 would take me to just skim the top of that. So I might just have to trim off a little bit at the bottom so that I could just make sure that's central on my opening page. So that would be a page. And then the back of it, well, you don't need to see the back because it'll be... Oh no, you would have the back of it if it's going to be part of the journal. So that's a really gorgeous... I love this colour. I love the colour scheme in this pad as much as anything. Let me just see how much of it you can actually see in the camera. So if you can see that, that's the page. And then the next page is this one with the piano. And again, I think this would make a great opening page for another signature. So that's number 2. And that has got all this music and this really pretty decoration. I mean, it's every page has been so beautifully done. Then there's this page, which I could use, but it's not overly musical. It looks a bit like it's got lots of possibly books and things, but I think this would be quite useful to make some ephemera, which is one of the things I want to do today. Make a couple of pockets, so that would work very well for that. Let's see what's on the other side. Just some music. Unused music paper. I don't know. I'm sure there's a word for it, but I can't remember what that is. Then we have, then we have a page of journal cards. Try and make sure you can see it all. Can you see? Try and get that straight. So we've got journal cards here, and they could be used for, we could cut out some of the ephemera from here. Particularly this piano would be quite a nice one to cut out. So they could be used. We'll have to see what I need, really. And they could be made into pockets as well. And obviously you can write on the back of those. Then you've got this one. Now I think this is going to be too tall to have her as a part of the signature because she is taking up nearly the whole 12 inches. She's pretty much, 9.5 inches tall. If you take in the top of her instrument, you're going up, it takes up to 10 inches, so that's going to be too big a page to use for the signatures, but I might be able to use at least this part for ephemera. And then you've got this on the back, really pretty. Again, this would make a beautiful signature page, so I think this is page number 3 for the 3rd signature. Cut that down and that would make a lovely opening page for a signature. Gorgeous, isn't it, with the harp. And then on the back there's a variety of music and some script and a whole selection of stuff, so that would be lovely as a 3rd page in the journal. Oops. Looks like I may have used something from here as well. I can't remember where I used that, but that's an envelope, a couple of journal cards and a few other little ephemera pieces here. And then this is a nice busy page, would be quite good to use for making ephemera with. I think you could easily make things with this. And the other side of it is there. Then you've got a page of tags. I doubt if I'd need all of these tags. Have you seen how much ephemera I've got in the journal, in the digital kit? So I doubt very much if I'll need all of these. But again, some of these instruments could be cut out and used as fussy cuts to decorate pieces of ephemera. So I've got a couple of violins, I've got a harp, I've got half a piano. And then the parts of the page where I don't need to cut those bits out, I can always use to make something, because that's really pretty on that side. Whoops. And another page here that can be used for making ephemera. And again, it's got the music on the other side. And then you've got the blue music here, which is the last page, and you've got that at the back. So as long as you only need to use one side of it, you could use this. I think it's only if you need some double-sided pages where that might be a bit tricky. So that's the Stamperia paper pad, the music stamp paper pad, which I love. Can't wait to start making things with it, which we might, hopefully we'll get. Now I'm going to just talk briefly about the cover of the journal, because I've been umming and ahhing what to do about this. Now, a couple of months ago, we bought some new curtains, because, you know, we're in a new house and we've been buying things, and one of the things we bought was a pair of curtains, and they came wrapped around these bits of cardstock. So that's one, and that's the spine, huge. And I thought they were both the same, but actually when I got them, had another look at them, the other spine is smaller. And I looked at them and I straight away thought, ooh, they'd make a good journal cover, wouldn't they? As you do. You open things up and you see journals everywhere. So I'm trying to decide, and I think I'll have to decide by the time I start doing this next week. I obviously have to cut it down and make it the size of that I need it to be, but it's a case of which spine I use. So this is 11 inches tall, and each side is 12. So I'm thinking, and this particular spine, I believe, and I'll just double check, I think this is a 2.5 inch spine. Yeah, it's 2.5 inches. That's bigger than I want to do. I think 3 signatures, 2-inch spine should be plenty, I think. So I may well just cut this apart and then cut my spine down to the 2 inches and then stick it back together. Obviously cut. In fact, if this is 12 inches, this would make both sides of the journal, wouldn't it? And then I've got enough to do another journal with this one. Or the alternative is I use this one, because the spine is, how long? Let's see how big this spine is. Maybe this will be big enough for the 3 signatures. It's quite hard to get at it because it's so tall. Maybe if I open it and do it on the inside. Okay, that's an inch. It's not quite 1.5 inches, this spine. 1 3/8. So I'm wondering if that's actually big enough for my 3 signatures. So I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to cut this apart. I shall cut this apart, and then I'll cut each of the panels to size, and I'll cut the spine down to size, so 2 inches wide by 9 inches tall. So when I come back next week, we may start working on this cover and putting it together. And that will be the basis for it. I mean, I've got far more than I'm going to need, but then I can cut off all these bits that have got a bit soft. I can make it, hopefully it will make it a nice, quite a solid journal cover. And I've been umming and ahhing again. I've been doing lots of umming and ahhing about this journal, just because it's been so long since I've done one, and I haven't quite got, haven't quite an idea of how the cover's going to go, because there's no obvious fabric that's music related. But what I do have, and what I think I might use, because I love it and I think the colour will work really well, is this beautiful piece of velvet. I bought 2 rolls of velvet from a shop somewhere when I was on holiday last year. One was more of an olive green, and then there's this teal one, and it is just so gorgeous. It's so strokeable. I'm thinking the colour would go quite well with this kit, but it wouldn't be terrible with any of the digitals either, because it's a nice bold colour. So I think that's what I'm going to use to cover the cover, if you see what I mean, on the outside of the cover. I've got plenty of it, so I'm going to use that, and then I'm going to make some sort of topper. There's going to be lots of lace, of course, I think the crochet lace will feature more than the lacy lace, the thin, the thin fine lace. I have a feeling that crochet lace will work really well in this journal. So I think that's what I will be using. I'm probably going to do a hidden spine. So yeah, lots of challenges ahead, because I think it may well be 6 months since I've made a journal. I can't remember what the last one was. Well, the last one was a paper bag journal, which was totally different to doing something like this. So the one before that was a boho journal, and that was months and months ago. So yeah, I think this is going to be challenging, but I think I'm going to really love it when it's done, and I hope you will enjoy joining me on this journey. So let's just make a start and make a couple of little pockets with my music paper pad, just so that we do feel like we've achieved something today, and I'm not just showing you stuff. I've now got a mountain of paper and goodness knows what next to me. I'll have to do a bit of tidying up when we're finished. So get back to the paper pad, and I've got a couple of little sample pockety things here. They're both by Dee Dee Farago. What I do when I see something I like, I'll just show you. When I see a piece of ephemera that I like, I know a lot of people keep an idea book, but I've never got around to making one, even though I've been wanting to. So I have my idea box. This is a lovely big box, and it's full of things that other people have made and that I've had a go at. I think one of these days I'll make one. So I kind of make a prototype out of book page or out of just plain paper, and then I try and make one with some nice paper so that I can see how it would look when it's done. So I've got a whole bunch of these things which I'm hoping to dip into periodically to make things for this journal, because I've got loads of things in here, and I try to make a note of where I saw it, otherwise I wouldn't have a clue what it is. So this is one of it says Mass Make 13, so this is one of Shabbydabbydoodah mass makes here. So I did a whole bunch of her mass makes and put them in here, and then underneath there's a whole load of other things that I've made over quite a long period. But I do like to, so this one is a little thing that opens out like that, and I really like that, so I might make one of those. And this was by Paper Terrace. Yeah, so I try to keep a note of where I saw it being made and who made it, and then I can hopefully look it up again if I need to. So I dipped into this box. It's hard to choose because there's so many, but I wanted one that specifically worked with 12 by 12 papers. So I've got these two pockets by Dee Dee Farago, and I have instructions and everything, so I'm going to make those. So let's find a piece of paper that I'm not going to use as a page. I think this one would be fine. Take that out. And we're going to... They both need a piece of paper that's 4 inches by 12 inches. So you use the full width, but it is a little bit on the directional side, and I'm just wondering how I'm going to best use it, because I think certainly this one with the multi pockets would need the paper to be that way round, not that way round. So that's what I think I'm going to do. Which piece shall I use? I think I'll just use this piece, and I might be able to do the other one in the same way. Otherwise, I'll use a different piece to do the other pocket. No, oh yeah, I'm going to use that side. Sorry, I'm just going to turn it around. Now I've got my trimmer upside down now. Oh dear. There we go. That's the way it needs to be, and that's the way I want to put it in. And it needs to be 4 inches I'll just get these. That one I need, and that one I need. That one I need, and that one I don't need. Right. Okay, let's just cut this at 4 inches. And I don't need that piece. So now we have a piece this size. And then we need our scoreboard. I have treated myself to a 12 by 12 scoreboard. I don't know if you remember, I had this other scoreboard. It was a big purple job and it was A3. So when I laid it on my desk, it kind of went all the way up my desk, and it was a real pain because it was too big. And I couldn't find it after I moved. It didn't seem to have arrived back in my craft room, so I was kind of hoping it had got a bit lost. It did turn up after I bought this one, of course. It turned up, but now I've got this one, and I'm much happier because it fits on my desk. And actually, it's a much easier one to use because when you've got something so tall, you've got to reach right up to the top, and it's really hard. This one is much easier, so I'm really pleased with it. Now let's see which is the top. I've got to decide which is the top. It's really hard to tell. I think that's the top. Okay. So I need the instructions. I've done that bit. So this is the scoring. So we score at 2 inches. Oops. Then another inch, or you could say at 3 inches, whichever way you want to do it. So 2 inches, then another inch, and then 2.5. So it's 5.5, and then at 6.5. So it's another inch along again. Whichever way you want to think of it, really. And then at another 2.5. So it takes you to 9, and then at 10. Okay, so that's the scoring, and then we need to just concertina it up, and you'll see how it works. So I thought it was a really effective little pocket, this. It ends up looking like that. So I've just got to make sure I fold it the right way. So I think I fold it. This is the bit I went wrong last time. I don't think it folds up that way. No, I think it folds like... Now let's see. I think yes, it folds like that. Okay, it folds like that, and then the next bit folds up. Just make sure you fold it, try and fold it on the actual score line, which is what I keep missing. Fold it on the score line there, goes up, and then the next one goes up again this way, and then I'll get a bit lost with this, and then it goes back that way. That's right. So it goes up like that and up like that. So you can see how it's going, and then the next one goes like that. And then the last one folds back on itself like that. So let's just do that and just burnish that down a little. So then you have your little pockets. So then you've got your little pieces of ephemera. You're going to have one in here, one in here, one in here, and you could have something behind here. You know, you can glue this down however you like. and then you've got a lovely little pocket for the journal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue it down. It's very, very simple, but I think it's quite effective, and when you've got such beautiful papers to use. So I'm just going to ink the edges a little, and I'm going to round this top corner, or the two top corners. I'm going to round it up here, and the other side. Did that round? Not sure I did it quite right. It can be a bit temperamental, this thing. And now we're going to just ink along the tops of the pockets so you can see them. Although they are fairly well easy to see with this paper because you can. Because of the pattern. Paper clip just to hold it together a little bit. I think we need to glue down some of the flaps at the back as well because they're kind of sticking up. Hold that in place. I'm just going to. So you have. No, I'm just going to glue this bottom one as well, which I forgot to do. This glue is beginning to be annoying. Right, now it should lay flatter then. Right, so then we have really pretty little multi-pocket. Pocket here, pocket here, pocket here. So that's that one. First one of these, and then we'll have a go at doing the other one, which I'll just got to, because it's going to go that way. Is this going to work quite as well? Just trying to figure out which is the best way to. I'm not sure it'll matter too much. Let me see if there's any other page that we could use. Can always use this for something else. Again, we need a piece that's 4 by 12, but I think we need it to be orientated the other way, horizontally rather than vertically. So let's have a look. Not that one, not that one, not that one, but we could do this one. Yes, let's do this one. So, get my trimmer out again. And we want that to be 4 inches this way. Okay. What if it has to be 4 inches, because I can't want to. I wonder if I took it just a little bit higher. I don't think it matters really. And then I've got, there we are. So I've made it a little bit more than 4 inches just to fit in, so I'm not cutting these bits off. And then scoreboard. So that one goes with that pocket. Then this one, here we are. This one you score at, now actually I want it to be scored on that side, 4.5, 9 and 10.5. Now I actually think it needs to be scored at 4.25 and then at 9, because otherwise I did this prototype at 4.5 and I had to keep trimming it, because then you fold in the other bit at 9 and it buckled. So I think you need to have a little bit of space. So I'm just going to try this and just score it at 4.25 and then at 9. And then at 10.5. Let's see if this works better. It may not, because I've made the space here bigger. So I don't know if I've messed up or not. So we'll have to see. So the idea is you fold that in, and then you fold. So now, instead of having this right up butted against the fold line, I have got a little bit of space here, which may not be a good thing, I'm not sure. And you fold that way, and then you fold that one back on itself, like that. And then you have that pocket. So then you glue it at the bottom here, and you glue this down. You've got a pocket here, and you've got a pocket here, and you've got a tuck spot behind here. And that looks quite pretty. It's a shame that the bit on the front is the bit I had to cut off, where I've got a rose cut in half, so I'll have to put something on here. And I'll probably put some lace down here or something. I mean, you could turn it up and have the pocket that way and have something going in the side here, or in the side here. You could glue either side. So yeah, I don't know quite you could do it. You know, there's various options, I think, for how you could glue it. But I'm inclined to make life simple for myself and do it just like that. So let's get a bit of this. So glue that in. And I think before I glue it together, I'm going to make a thumb notch here. Try not to get glue everywhere. Now I've put it on the paper. Should have done this first, but I didn't. Make a little thumb notch at the top. And then I'll glue this down at the bottom. Just quickly ink around there before I close it up. Make sure it's lined up properly. Then we close that in, and I've got to glue that down. So glue that along there and along there, along the sides. Fold that in. I think I'm getting all the pretty bits on the wrong side, or the wrong part of the pocket, but it's just one of those things. It's how it ends up. You can't always plan it. All the best bits are in view. And then I've got to fold it back on itself and glue again. For some reason that seems to be a little bit too long. So I might just trim that a bit. Glue here, glue here, and yeah, and glue across the top I think as well. Glue there. Right, and then we have ourselves another little pocket. So if you take this is my tag that I wrote the instructions. So you can put a tag in here, and then you can put a nice big journal card in here, and you could also use it as a tuck and have something going behind there. So that's our other little pocket for the new journal. So that's quite nice, just to have a couple of new things ready to go. I'm just going to ink that. See if I can ink the edge of the pocket, because I forgot to do it before. There we are. It is done. So you have it, I think it would go that way or that way. No, I think that way will be best. So we've got that one, and we've got this one, which should now be dry. Let's take these off. My little prototype's out of the way. I do like a prototype, it does help, and if I don't glue it, then I can see how it was constructed. But sometimes I forget not to glue it, and then I still can't see how I did it. But anyway, there we are. Two little pockets from our new music Stamperia paper pad. And we will start properly working on the journal, doing the signatures, and hopefully doing something about the cover next week. So I'm hoping this will be a Monday thing. This will be my Monday videos. We'll be working on the Music Mondays, I think we'll have to call them, won't we? Well, our Music Journal Mondays. So I'll see you again soon. Thank you for joining me, and if you're crafting along with me, making this, because I know one of you is doing it along with me. I hope you enjoy making your little pockets and getting your things together, ready to make your cover next week. Okay, see you soon. Bye for now.